Hello scholars, Captain Johnston here. In today's lesson, we are going to discover from the tragedy of the Challenger explosion, the need for leaders to listen to and act on guidance from their people. All right, let's begin. Some leaders get into the mindset where they mistake being in charge for always knowing best. When leaders choose to disregard guidance from their people every time it goes against their own conclusion, that is leadership malpractice. It puts an artificial ceiling on the performance of the organization, which is capped at the ability and talents of the leader. Leaders have a responsibility to the organization to listen to and act on guidance from their people to inform their decisions. As long as you truly listen with an open mind and an intent to act on what is best for the organization, whether the idea is yours or it comes from one of your people, then you will succeed more often than not. Those leaders who, due to pride, ego, or greed, are unable to listen to their people will lead their organizations into avoidable failures. On the morning of January 28, 1986, the Challenger prepared to launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. However, on that day, 73 seconds into the mission, the Challenger exploded, killing all 7 of the crew members. NASA and the rest of the world watched this moment in stunned disbelief. The launch had been extremely high profile due to it being the first time a civilian, a school teacher named Krista McAuliffe, would be venturing into space. An investigation concluded that the root cause of the shuttle's accident was the failure of the O-rings at the bottom of the rocket boosters, which allowed flames and fuel to link into the external fuel tank, causing the explosion. The ironic part of the tragedy was that NASA leadership had taken all the correct precautions. Their employees had checked and double-checked the shuttle before departure. It appeared as if they had done everything right. That was until the morning of the launch. The temperature that day was 36 degrees Fahrenheit, at least 15 degrees colder than any previous launch. Temperatures this low would harden the O-rings and not allow them to properly seal. The rocket booster engineers understood that this element increased the risk of liftoff. These 5 engineers, who tried to stop the mission that day, detailed what happened and their concerns in a 1986 interview with NPR. "We all knew if the seals failed, the shuttle would blow up," said Roger Boisjonlay, one of the Challenger's engineers. The engineering team sounded the alarm the morning before the Challenger launch, calling their boss, who immediately organized a teleconference between NASA officials and the worried engineers. After considering their concerns, NASA leadership decided to press forward with the launch due to the fact that the mission had already been delayed 5 times before. This was a difficult position for the leadership team at NASA, but the decision should have been easy. It is exactly these kind of situations that you need experts on your team for. Instead of listening to sound advice from their people, they chose to put on their blinders and move forward with the launch. Lawrence Malloy, the project director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, responded to the request of the engineers with, "When do you want me to launch? Next April?" NASA's decision not to listen to the advice of their experts led to devastating results. What happened to the Challenger was a tragedy. Even worse, it was a tragedy that could have been avoided. In your position, you may make decisions where you hold people's lives in your hands, or you may not. Either way, learn from NASA's blunder and listen to your people when they come to you with relevant information. The responsibility of leadership can be a burden at times. The fact that major decisions rest on your shoulders can be a lot to bear for one person. This pressure might tempt you to rely solely on your own judgment and ignore dissenting opinions. You cannot allow this to happen. You cannot hole up and shut everyone else out. The easiest way to avoid this is to understand that it's okay not to have the right answer, to not always be the smartest person in the room. This admission takes self-confidence that is not always natural for people. But for you to get the best answer for your people, you have to admit when you don't know so you can work with your advisors to find the right answer. Listening to your people is vital even when you feel like you have the right answer. In fact, it's probably even more important when you feel like you are sure of the right answer. At the end of the day, you are still the leader, so the final decision still rests with you. Listening to and acting on feedback does not take anything away from you. It only has the opportunity to improve the outcome for your organization. Getting feedback on your ideas from your people will turn disasters into workable solutions into good ideas, and good ideas into transformative events. All right, scholars, I have a challenge for you from today's lesson. I want each of you to answer this question for yourself. Do I have the right people advising me on my decisions? And if I'm not sure, how can I find out? Make sure to put your answers in the comments so we can all learn from each other. All right, till next time, keep on learning. Thank you for watching. Much of what I go over in my lessons can be found in my book, Mission First, People Always, which is available for purchase through the link in the description of the video. If you enjoyed today's video and want more leadership lessons, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.